Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, is definitely the true story of the life of the one and only Weird Al Yankovic. It's totally unexaggerated, and there's truth to every single facet of this movie. And from a conventional upbringing where playing the accordion was a sin, Weird Al Yankovic, played by Daniel Radcliffe in a tour de force performance, rebels and makes his dream of changing the words to world-renowned songs come true. And as an instant success, Al lives an excessive lifestyle and pursues an infamous romance that nearly destroys him. Now, sarcasm aside, I am a huge Weird Al fan. I remember the first Weird Al song I ever heard was the eBay song, which is of course a parody of the Backstreet Boys' I Want It That Way. I think I was about 10 or 11 years old the first time the eBay song hit my ears, and I was like, what the heck is this? And I was sitting there like, okay, this guy definitely needs to be researched. And I discovered a bunch of his other famous songs, which are sung by Yankovic in this movie. Eat It is a big one, a parody of Michael Jackson's Beat It. You have another one, Rides the Bus, and you have Couch Potato, which arguably is my personal favorite Weird Al song, a parody of Eminem's Lose Yourself. And Yankovic does supply his own singing voice for this movie, and he also plays this music agent himself, which is a direct callback to the Funny or Die sketch that he was in. And funny enough, Funny or Die is very much attached to this movie. And let me just tell you this much. I really loved this movie. I can't believe I was saying that, but this was so silly. Now, if you just look at this poster, and if you go into Weird and you're expecting a serious musical biopic, if you're expecting something along the lines of Ray, Walk the Line, Elvis from this year, you're gonna think that Weird is like the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. If that's the kind of movie you're expecting with Weird, you really don't know Weird Al Yankovic all that well. Because this movie from start to finish is a complete satire. It basically takes everything you know about the singer-songwriter biopic and it dismantles it. Completely dismantles it. And the narrative that they go with is just the most outrageous you could ever think of. Which, if you're a hardcore fan of Weird Al, this is exactly what you would have expected. And I was certainly entertained from start to finish watching Weird. And it's very, very strange that this movie isn't hitting theaters at all. This is exclusive on the Roku channel. The Roku channel! Like, where... like, what other movies are exclusive to the Roku channel? I don't know many other ones, but they certainly got themselves a winner. I gotta talk about Daniel Radcliffe, because this is a performer I've obviously loved for a long time. He's easily the most recognizable as Harry Potter from the Potter movies. And this is a guy I grew up with, and I absolutely adored watching his work in the Potter films. But ever since Deathly Hallows Part 2, as much as Radcliffe might not want to admit it himself, he's kind of been wanting to stray away from the, I don't want to call it the stigma, but he is very, very easily recognizable. So he's been kind of wanting to break that recognition for a long time. Now, the movies that he's been picking since then have been very, very interesting, to say the least. They've ranged from the absolutely forgettable, like The Woman in Black, all the way to the straight-up bizarre, like Swiss Army Man. But ever since 2011, I don't really think he's broken that recognition factor that he's received from the Potter films. Well, in Weird, Radcliffe is unrecognizable and damn deniable. This guy is just throwing so much energy into this part. And I love that Radcliffe was picked for a musical biopic project like this. He has some Broadway experience. He starred in the revival of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Now, granted, this is Weird Al himself singing these songs, but Radcliffe is just throwing his everything into these musical numbers. So much so that you can see the veins popping out of his neck every now and then. And the fact that he took the time to learn the basics behind just playing the accordion as religiously as Weird Al did, like, this is a great, great performance here. Radcliffe, you deserve all the recognition in the world for this, my friend. This was so good. And there's a lot of really famous people in this movie that I did not really expect to show up here and there. But I'm not going to get deep into spoilers about that because I want you guys to be as surprised as I was. But let's just say everyone they picked is on top of their game. And it's a really great lineup of really famous people. The two that I will tell you are in this, you have Evan Rachel Wood, who's playing Madonna. Very similar to how Becky Lynch was embracing the role of Cyndi Lauper in Young Rock. Evan Rachel Wood is almost unrecognizable here. She is really, really solid. The scenes she shares with Daniel Radcliffe are really entertaining. Rainn Wilson is also super entertaining. Oh my gosh, it was so great to see Rainn Wilson again. But I think despite the ludicrous nature of this narrative that's going on. Obviously, I don't think everything that happened in this movie happened in Weird Al's real life. But despite all of that, the thing I really respect about this movie is the message. Be as weird as you want. Don't let other people tell you how to live your life. Live the life that you want to lead. Like, it's really nice to see something so silly have this much emotional meaning. And as a hardcore fan of Weird Al, hearing his songs in this movie and the way Daniel Radcliffe was playing this part, this gave me everything I wanted and then some. I highly recommend you guys check out the Weird Al movie. Now, I will tell you that the screenplay can get a little bit too on the nose sometimes. Like, yes, this is supposed to be a satire, 150,000%. And a good portion of this dialogue that Daniel Radcliffe shares with Spencer Treat Clark's character, for example, like, it just feels to me like, okay, this is the trope that you see in all of these biopics, and this is how we're going to dismantle it. You kind of have a lot of dialogue in this movie that follows that nature. And there were points where it could feel a little bit too repetitive. But when I wanted this movie to be serious, it got serious for sure. When I wanted this movie to be silly, damn right it was. A lot of this dialogue came off more like an SNL sketch than an actual movie, which is a very, very welcome change of pace. And sometimes you just have movies like this to remind you to throw all logic out the window. Just go into it, have a fun time, and enjoy Daniel Radcliffe just eat up every frame. I'm gonna give Weird an A-. That is a sentence I never thought I would say when I started this channel. Then again, I never really thought I would see a Weird Al movie. And yet, here we are, my friends, and I'm so happy we got it. Let me know what you thought of the Weird movie down in the comments section below. What is your favorite Weird Al song? Sound off on all those questions down in the comments below. Start that discussion. I love making these videos and getting to discuss all things movies and entertainment with you guys on a regular basis. So if you guys are new and you want to continue discussing all these fun topics, do consider becoming a subscriber. It's completely free. You can hit that notification bell on your way out, so that way you'll be the first ones in the know. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up on your way out. That is also a tremendous help in getting this community to continue to grow. And stay tuned for more reviews hitting this channel very, very soon. I'm going to be watching The Banshees of Inisherin by the end of this weekend. Black Panther Wakanda Forever comes out next week. We're going to be really, really busy going through the end of the year, and it's going to be one fun ride to the home stretch of 2022. Y'all are the best. Thank you all so, so very much again for talking movies with me. And with all that being said, back talk commence!